Lisa, this is a subject which, you're an expert in. You've addressed Parliament, you've worked with various NGOs and done research specifically on some of these areas that we're about to touch on. I suppose, just working with what we know of the records, the lawyers are saying a domestic incident, and the court record, of course, puts it as assault. So where patterns are concerned, what do we know about this incident and what can we say about it without the actual material facts?
I don't think we can say very much because it sounds like it may have been a mutual assault. If the word assault is there, one doesn't know. So I think it's best not to speculate about this particular incident. But I mean, if we speak generally, I think you can see there are slightly different patterns in domestic violence. You do have relationships of what we would call mutual combat, where both parties are more or less equally abusive to each other, and violence is generally the way they deal with things in the relationship, or abuse. Then you do have the relationships where one person is pretty much consistently the victim. If they do use violence, it may well be in defense. Then I think you have those relationships, which I think are the ones that we often think about ending in death, which are based on very high levels of control, and where if the one partner doesn't behave in the way the other one wants, then serious violence and death can even follow. So we do see different kinds of domestic violence. I think if you look at it as an overall phenomenon, which does need to point to slightly different ways in which we intervene. You clearly need police protection orders, the courts, serious intervention, prisons sometimes if necessary to protect women, where you can see there's a very clear one-sided pattern of abuse. I think where you have something where there's clearly a problem in the way both parties communicate, then you might want to look at an option of mediation or other ways in which you can change the dynamic in the relationship.
In a situation like this, where the couple has decided to withdraw the charges against each other, does the court give them the benefit of the doubt and say, okay, go and sort yourselves out? Or as the NPA is doing now, they continue with the case, and what do they rely on in terms of witnesses and evidence?
Exactly. So the courts have started to allow for things that they call alternative dispute resolution, where you do allow people to go and settle their matters amongst themselves, and that's how you resolve it. Sometimes you can have a plea bargain agreement where that obviously didn't happen here, but somebody will plead guilty, and then there might be an arrangement that they go for mediation.